and a 1. Bing, 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 bing. Here we are. I think we're live. We're live. It is Monday. It is the Modern Fowler Scrum. Here we are. It's Piotr and Sam. Yeah. So for me, basically, that local support gave Piotr some feedback. Maybe we'll talk some more about that at the end of the stand-up. I need to sort. There's some hound issues for Marowen. Still, yeah, email validations. Here's a bit of a pain. I have to address that, but I've got a client meeting tomorrow. Actually, now with the council to talk about hack days and other stuff. So that kind of should be interesting. For the MOOC, yeah, we've got the AV 102 course starting today. I think I've got week 0 ready. I should go and check that. I mean, I've also need to start prepping week 1 ASAP, and then the website 1. Managed to get a few bits pieces done on Friday. Fix up what I hope are fixes for hopefully the last couple of intermittent JavaScript failures. But yeah, and there's a couple of minor bug points I hope I'll have a chance to work on today. But that's about my summary. Yeah, Piotr. Yes, how are things with you?
So I know that we should now to get into the core of the problem with local support. We should make another test application to find a way to work with nested attributes. Of course, it will be a challenge for me, but I will try to. I'm not sure if you want me, for example, to do it also with tests, or
I would say don't worry about tests at all for this. I mean, that's kind of. I mean, if you were saying, "Oh, this is going to be really easy," then maybe. I mean, I think so. This is very specifically what I would call a kind of a spike, and so it's kind of like we're asking the question: is it even possible to do nested attributes many to many with, in particular, with actual destruction and creation? Will that all work? I don't think we have a clean working example anywhere of that. At least we haven't found one. I mean, maybe there's one that exists. And I think in that case, that's at least from my point of view, that's a good situation in which to do a spike to explore what it works. Because, I think the test-driven thing works really well. If you're creating something new, right? If it's a new Ruby library and you're sort of driving it, that's one thing. If it's somebody else's library like Rails, and you're just trying to find out, can it even do this? Then the danger is that you would write all these tests, which could be great tests, but it may be that it's not even possible to do what the tests are asking the system to do. So yeah, I mean, and we've got tests in our existing system that check for these kinds of things. And so yeah, really, it's about sort of exploring the Rails stuff. Because the important thing with a spike is that ideally you should throw that code away and then use that knowledge that you've gained in a test-driven.
Because like getting into the point, the problem is that for now this connection with nested attributes, it works through destroy. In fact, when you click on checkboxes on the site, you set the value of destroy thing, and in fact that the problem is that it needs to rebuild itself every time it renders the site, and that's why it was the logic was set in views. So,
that's right, and I think there's a fundamental issue there in that the form, as it were, is sort of generated specific to the organization, and then so it's set up to try and by default make changes on the organization, but for these categories, it actually needs to make changes to the organization category join thing. I mean, I have, like last year, I had, as I say, some other students working on this, and I was sort of helping them explore some different directions on it. And it's definitely kind of tricky. What's frustrating for me for last time is that we kind of explored it in different places, but we never got so far as actually saying, okay, here's a repo with it kind of not working and being the problem, and then submitting that to the Rails folks. Because I think that's ultimately what we really need to do. Is what we're kind of going through the process of doing a bug report for Rails. And what you want to do with bug reports, in the best case, is kind of create a stripped down version of the thing of like, this is precisely, you're going to show this is precisely the problem, and then submit that, and then it means that the people who are maintaining in this case the Rails framework or whatever framework can sort of, without having to understand your entire big legacy code base, they can see, oh, okay, this thing. And then, you know, in some ways, it's all about asking the right question. And it may be that they will say, actually, no, this is just not possible. There's no clean way. Or there may be somewhere that they'll tell us the right way to do it. But I agree, it's tricky, and you know, we shouldn't expect to necessarily find a good solution. But this is all just about communicating the nature of our problem to other people, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but in fact, in all these places that we already found, like articles and documentation, I haven't seen like directly the information about that what we are asking. So
no, I agreed. Right, that's right. And so it may be that it doesn't exist and it's not possible, or it may be that we just haven't found it yet. So anyway, I mean, and of course, you might at any point say, you know, going down this route is not so interesting. You know, you might want to work on different stuff in local support, different projects, or what have you. But I think to the extent that you trust me, I'm sort of trying to show you a way in which we can sort of really make progress on this sort of problem in an open source context. And so to the extent that that continues to be interesting and fun for you,
it's really interesting, because it's getting, you know, more complex. It's getting to the support of Rails, and so I don't know this stuff, so it's certainly something new, good to learn. So
yeah, cool. Yes, and so the place to start, which I mean, you know, as would be to do like, you know, Rails new, and then I would use Rails scaffold to create the couple of models and the relationships between them, and just start playing with that.
I will keep the names of models, because I think we can stay with that, and it will be less complicated than to understand and not to translate everything to new names.
Totally. Yes, I agree with that. Yeah, so I think an organization's categories thing will be helpful for us.
So I will start with that today, and I will report to you about how I handle with it.
Fantastic. Well, what I would just I recommend one thing is, do keep a record of the commands that you use on the command line to generate the bits of the app. And even if you don't get it working, still throw the app up on GitHub, and you know, just so we can all play around with it.
Okay, I will.
Great. Okay, cool.
One question, because you were talking about this AV1 course.
Oh yes.
And you were telling me that, in fact, I could participate in it.
Oh yes, so. If you're, did you now? So you've done the 169 and part 1 and part 2.
Yeah,
is that right? Yes. Yeah. Oh, you're very welcome to. I mean, participate in this course. I mean, it's. I'm trying to. You know, I'm a bit embarrassed about the quality of the whole thing. But I'm trying to redo it. It's kind of, you can almost see it as a kind of a part 3 for the. It's not.
But it's on edX.
Yeah, it's on edX Edge. So let me just grab you the link for it. Okay, I'm just gonna, if I go here, I'm gonna go, is it about or info? Here's the one. Yes, this is the one. Here we go. Dun, 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 dun. That's the link there. I'll just pop. I mean, I hate the way that these this chat within I forget what it's called now. The Google Hangouts disappeared. So just in case, I'll DM it to you as well. So there we go.
Okay, thanks.
You are most welcome. Yeah. So it's a very slow. You know, there's not really much to do this week. It's a very slow start. It's a minimal thing. Anyway, but yeah, feel free to check that out if you're interested. Okay,
of course. So that's like you say, a third part of.
Well, it's basically. It's a short course that we put together to try and help prepare people to, one, participate in Agile Ventures, which is you're already doing, so but also to be teaching assistants for the 169 course, because we've got a new run of the course starting, and also just to give sort of a general thing about how do people work in distributed teams and how to operate as part of a distributed team.
Okay, so it sounds good. So I guess it's also, I'm not sure if I understood that you are helping then with the courses of part 1 and 2.
Yes. I'm kind of like I'm one of the instructors now. I don't get involved in presenting the main materials, but I kind of manage the autograders, and I manage the TAs, and I also do like homework support videos, although I haven't done. I sort of, they all went out of date. We'll see. This run I might do. But you maybe when you took the course, you saw me, and I have some videos showing how to do pair programming and stuff. So, yeah.
Okay then. So I don't want to waste your time more.
No, it's always a pleasure. Yeah, and maybe we'll catch up. Well, hopefully we'll also have a chance to do a longer session. You know, getting into some of the details of the Rails code. You know, later this week.
So thank you then, and
okay, bye for now. Take care.
Bye bye.
Cheers.